Hello, we are on to our next signature, and excuse me, we are doing this signature here, and then we'll only have one to go, and we'll be done. So this is what I've designed for this page. There is a 12 by 12 that is in the collection, and on the back side of it, it has some cutout cards, and it had that half sheet here. And this is lacy, and the piece that went across here was lace. Let's see if I can find it here real quick without wasting too much time. No. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. So this is what it looked like. So you had this beautiful swirl here, and then it has lace all the way across, and then you've got this collection here. So I cut this piece down to the 8 3/8 across by the 8 5/8 in its height. Then I came in here from the start of this flower, or this leaf right here. I followed the lace line and cut it, inked it, and then I traced using using the paper and a pencil. I traced this outline, and then I cut out a piece that will come in here. Once I get done fiddling with it, it'll line up about so. And it will be a pocket. Now this is what I'm using as the pocket, is this card cut out with the Christmas tree. I did come in here with some Winkostella on the poinsettias. Oh, and I missed one. On the poinsettias, and then I've backed it, so this will be a photo mat. And then it will slide. Once this is all together, this will slide right in here. And you've got spots here to put additional photos up here at the top after you've pulled this out. You can put a photo here, here, here. You can even cover this up if you want to. So that's what I've done. So I'm going to go ahead and start working on getting this all attached. And I'm going to start with the card first. Oh, there it is. Okay, and then I'm going to glue the back side of this. And then I'm going to come in and very carefully this time, not messing around here, there we go, and glue that right in place. So like I said, once it's taped down, then we're going to have a pocket. And when I tape this down, because this card can take up quite a bit of room, if I was to put a 1/4 inch tape edge here, it's not really giving me much room. You'd end up having to cut this way. So I'm only going to use 1/8 of an inch of a strip here of tape. And then I will finish my traditional 1/4 inch tape all the way around. So that's the base page. And I can seal this right now by doing that. Okay, so that pocket's all nice and sealed, and that just will tuck right in there. All right, I want to put that aside because I want to work on the rest of it. Okay. Our pockets are, we're going to make 2, and they're going to measure in at 5 1/4 across by the 8 5/8 in your height, because it's got to match this. Then you're going to do a 1/2 inch score, and then that taped line is what's going to go on back here. 2 of them, you're going to do 1 on each side. I'm going to lift this off of here. And then bring this up to the edge. And you can see we still have our, no we don't, that sealed that off. So I did not anticipate that very well. This is going to be interesting. I'm going to test this. That should not have, I didn't think that that would seal that, to be honest with you. And it sure does, because it's rubbing up against the seam on this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is snip this out of there. When I get it in the book, it's all going to get sealed down, so I'm hoping I'm not making a mistake here. I may have to cut this hole bigger. Nope, there it goes. Okay. Yeah, it looks like I cut, what did I trim off of that? About 3/16 off that edge. I'm trying to think this through, because when I come in here then and tape this on the back, it's going to tape this down. So that was a waste of energy right there. So that means I am going to have to slice in here a little bit. I think I'm going to follow the edge of the leaf. Okay, so the only thing I really need to do to fix this here so it doesn't look off is to put a little bit of blue cardstock behind there. So let's see what that is going to look like if I come in here and do that. I should have thought that through. I am so sorry, folks. I'm going to kind of pencil. Come here. I don't want this to tear. And I'm going to cut this piece out right here. A little bit of patching. So what you should be doing then is you should be cutting in straight across because you're going to lose a 1/2 inch here. You need to pick up and gain that 1/2 inch over here on this side. And I just want to make sure this piece, I don't want to glue this down because that's where the card's got to come. So this has to stay open. We're just going to make sure that this end right here is the piece that got glued. I can just add a smidgen of glue here. It's not as pretty as I would like for it to be, but it will work. Okay. That's the problem with this, with me trying to do this is on the base page. If this had been on another internal page, it wouldn't have been an issue. So I have done what I can to alleviate the problem. So you're going to take this, you're going to cut, follow your lace along, or don't do it at all. If you find that this was not your cup of tea, that's totally fine. But if you're going to do it, you're going to cut in, it looks like 4.5 inches from the edge, 4.5 inches in, so that you can, once this is taped, so that you can still get this tucked in behind there. Okay, so we've got this panel. Let's move on. We've got this panel, it's the same size. Now I've rounded my corners on the inside. Let's open this up. And this is what I am doing. I have taken this piece here. I just find that to be so lacy and so delicate. On the back side was, it says the word piece right here, and then that's that big floral display. So this is going to fit in right here. Now in the scraps, there was this piece. So I cut a blue square that is 3 3/8 by 3 3/8. I cut it on the diagonal. I've rounded my corner, and it's going to go right down here. And then this, the easiest way to cut this was to go 3 3/8 again by 3 3/8, cut it on the diagonal, round your corner, and then when you put this on, you'll see, make a tick mark and a tick mark, and then cut that strip off on this paper. All right. I thought that was such a great idea to make a little half pocket there on that page, and it's the first time I've done it, so big learning experience right there. Okay, let's get some tape on this. I think I'm going to use an 1/8 inch, simply because the less tape, I don't know if you've ever noticed that if you have a 1/4 inch tape strip, you're actually losing about 3/8 of an inch, because that's where it starts to get tight, because it's coming up against your tape. So to allow for more tuck room, if I use a smaller thinner piece of tape, then I'm not losing all that tuck room. And I'm going to bring it right here in the corner. And then I'm going to glue this piece down. Okay, there's our pocket. Let's go ahead, let's go over here and let's do this. Oh, and then I took one of the cards. You can do a small photo here on the back, and that's going to tuck in right there. And I used some silver bling that I've got to make that stand out a little bit. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. I just had a thought. I'm going to test something here. So if you're the type that just simply likes to watch first, then build, where did that piece go? I want, here it is. Oh, it's all not quite wide enough. What I was thinking, actually you could come over here and extend it here so you could catch up with this one here. Fussy cut this out along here. I'm thinking this through. It's not going to work. Never mind. I'm sorry. I went on a diversion. I thought something would work there, and it's not going to. There we go. Then we're going to slip this over here in this corner. And then this was the other card that I cut out so that it would go over here and tuck into that pocket. And again, you can do a little dedication here, and then you can put a framed in small photo here on the back. And it leaves you lots of room here to put in some photos. You can commit a long photo and then the tucks with a smaller complementary photo, or put a piece of white cardstock back here and do some journaling and some notes. Now on this side here, we're going to use this beautiful, looks like tinsel piece for both sides. I'm going to cut it. Now I cut this strip, it's the back side of this, be easier. So it's the back side of this. And if you look real close, you've got birds that are looking to the left, and then you've got a row of birds that are looking to the right. So when I cut this piece to go here, like so, on this side, it took a little bit of trimming. I cut a row of birds that we're looking in the opposite direction so that they're kind of looking at each other. And what I did with this, these are 3/4 of an inch wide. Then these strips are cut to fit, but I think they ended up being about 5/8 of an inch. Yeah. Then the paper, so blue cardstock is 3/4 of an inch wide by your height. And then these were 5/8 of an inch. And I glued them down, but on the back side I ran a thin row of tape that I'm going to put here. I'm just offset it a little bit. And then what happens is this is just going to become a nice long tuck over here, and you can still put in a couple of nice photos. So I'm going to go ahead and get these glued down. I try so hard to be so careful when I turn this paper over that I'm not getting glue all over myself. It never works. I end up with glue on myself no matter how hard I try. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. I just want to offset just a little bit from this edge so that there is a little bit of dimensional spacing here. And now that that's on, again, like I said, this becomes a nice tuck. You can tuck a couple of photos in here. And then you've also got this here for committing for your fixed photos. All right, we're going to glue this down. If you don't have your magnets out, get them handy because you're going to need them here on the next flaps. Then I'll remove this little strip of tape. And I'm going to come in here about 1/4 of an inch off the edge. I'm trying to eyeball that. And we've got our tuck. Okay. So these two are now done. Now we're going to work on these larger flaps here. Oh, and I forgot to put tape on this. Okay, so this is going to measure at 6 5/8 by your 8 3/8. You're going to score it at 1/2, and then you're going to score it at 5/8. We want that gusset to absorb what we just built here, so we're just going to stack it up in there, turn this over, and then pull your tape. Now this is where I want to make sure I stayed out of trouble. Yeah, that worked pretty good. Now we're going to do the same thing on this side. I do believe this was the same measurement. So this one was 6 5/8. So if I go from the peak of this die trim 6 5/8 across, Actually, it was 6 3/4 because I lost about an eighth or 1/16 when I did the die cut. So it was actually 6 3/4. So once you get your die cut done, then you can come in and set your paper and then figure out where you need to actually, if you have to trim it on this edge and where your score lines are going to go. So this ends up with, again, with a 1/2 inch score and a 5/8 of an inch score. And once again, we're going to wrap it around. Well, where did that go? Well, it took a walkabout. Okay, I apologize. There it is. Move the paper, Charlie. Goodness sakes. All right, so we are going to, it's easier to set the magnet on this side. And I am sad to say I am out of my basic gray, so I have to use a different set of magnets that I have. Whoops. I just know I'm going to pinch myself. Ah, bless America. These things are kind of dangerous. Whoa, 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 whoa. You see that walking? It was talking to that other magnet and it wanted to fly over there. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can't get this bent and folded back in its little box. Okay, so now I am going to come in here and then I'm going to take a piece of paper and I'm going to set it on there and then take a piece of tape all right, make sure that your gussets are up, that your pages are lined up, and then you can do this and then you really seriously have to slide these apart. I do not know why I feel, there it is, why I'm always losing things. And then I'm going to tape these down so they don't come flying off at each other. All right, on the right hand side, we are going to use this paper as well as its partner on the left hand side. Nope, they're going on the inside. I'm sorry. Oh, I have something else for the outside. I almost steered you wrong. Okay, so this beautiful paper, I just find that so striking. We'll come here on the inside. One side I'm going to have to tape down, and the other side I will glue down because I don't have any magnets involved. And then I've taken a couple of these cards, I've cut them out, mounted them, I put some bling, and I am just going to put a little bit of tape and tuck it down here in this corner. So then you've got a tuck, but you still have a nice spot here for a photo. So we're going to get to taping this piece down, and I apologize, but you're going to have to kind of bear witness again that I am going to be taping on that scalloped edge. I would love to do this ahead of time, but the backing on this, it's so small that by the time you put down the tape, it separates off of its paper backing. So I can't do it ahead of time because then I've got exposed tape and everything is going to be sticking to it. So I have really limited choice, and I'm not gluing it. I know someone's going to say, you should just glue it. But if you follow me, you know I don't want to close off my access to my magnets. And by the time I get done with a particular build, I don't have the same papers left. So yeah, I could take the whole flap apart and redo it, but I won't have the same papers. So you lose a lot of what I try to build with the various papers as I try to alternate them in and around the album build. See, that just does it. Come on, there we go. Okay, you're being a bugger. There we go. All right, so I am going to line this up. Got a little extra tape hanging out, so I'm going to tuck it under. And this is the other one. This would make a great spot for doing some journaling. And this one's going to slide right in here. Come off about 1/4 of an inch off both edges. So this is what we've got built so far. And now I'm going to go ahead. Let me get these here, there next. And then on this piece, I elected to use this side. The other side of this has it was like this, and then there are 3 cards, small cards. Here they are. This one went in the middle, that one's the top, and then the blue bird on the bottom, or whatever bird it is. Okay, but I didn't want to use this and this. I wanted to flip this. So let's pull this out of the way. So the reverse side is what I'm using, and I will show you why here in 2 shakes. So let's go ahead and get snip off this tape. There we go. All right, so what I was doing is I cut out these 3 cards, and you can cut out whatever 3 cards you want, but I cut out these 3 cards, and I'm going to tape these together. These will be photo mats on the back, but I am going to tape down along this edge, coming in about 1/4 inch. I'm going to run a thin tape, and this is going to be a tuck for these 3 cards. So we'll go ahead and get this all put together. And then thin strip of tape so we don't lose our tuck depth. Oh, I forgot. I just get going along. I'm so sorry. You guys must hate me. This is 1 inch. 1 inch across, and then just trim to fit. This ends up being about 7/8 of an inch, this piece. And then you're going to come in here. It's going to run the full length of your flap, which is the 8 5/8. And then that one will go there. This one's so pretty. Like I said, these will make great photo mats. And it allows for an opportunity to use the cards. And there's that piece there. Okay, now this one, you got kind of a sneak peek at it. I went in and I cut out each of these elements, and then I matted them, mounted them, and I'm just going to drop them right back into place once I get this piece on there. And lucky me, I get to glue this. I'm going to glue around these. match up my points. Pull this back a little bit. And then I will pull off my paper backs. And then these will just simply drop right back into place. I haven't done much fussy cutting and mounting on this album as I have in other albums, so I thought this would be a great opportunity to really make these elements stand out a little bit. Okay, so there you go. Photo mats, we've got tucks, and this is, well, might help if I closed it the right way. Okay, let's turn it over. I'm going to push that card up out of the way. I don't need to be taping it down. Once it's set in the album, it will be a lot easier to stabilize this card. Want that card over there as far as it's gonna go. Or what I think I'll do, because if I run this down, I'm gonna close this off. I'm not gonna do that. So I'm going to run 3/8 of an inch of tape along this edge. So this is all that I'm gonna be securing down. And then I'm gonna run a couple of strips this way. And it is album time. And this is going to sit in like so. I'm going to go ahead and turn it this way. Okay, what did I just disoriented myself. All right, it's gonna go this way. Whew. Okay, so I'm gonna bring it kind of right up to the edge. I'm just gonna watch how this sets. Press. Let's get in here real quick. We're gonna burnish. We'll come back to that because we got to open this back up again here in a minute. I am going to take this strip off first. Come on. What is happening here? I do not know why that tape did not want to separate the right way, so it's tearing off the cardstock. Sure this gusset is flat when I press this down. And then the only other one I have to remove is this one. Okay, so this is going to come in and sit here. Fits nice. And there you go. We're all done with this. We've got one signature to go and we'll be done. So until then.